All right, today we're going to make some kicks in Serum. Let's get going. So normally for kicks, I use kick 2, which looks like this. And so you've got a pitch envelope and an amp envelope, and you've got these click volumes so that you can load click samples in here, and you can control how many harmonics are in your oscillator. Yeah, so you can do some cool stuff in here. You've got a compressor and you've got an EQ and all sorts of cool stuff. But you can replicate most of this in Serum, which I've been mucking around with a bit lately. You can see that the pitch envelope goes quite low. That's pretty cool. And there's heaps of great presets. So yeah. So if you want to make your own kick samples for a particular genre, it's really easy to just jump in here and pick a preset and at least have something interesting to start from. So I really like kick 2, but you can do most of this in Serum. Let's check it out. So here's Serum with an init patch. And so we want a sine wave to start with. We can get it a few ways. Let's draw one in. Nice. All right. And to make sure that I'm working in the right register, I like to have an EQ. All right. That's a nice low sub for a kick. That'll work out fine. The first thing that I do is I turn the level down and I use an LFO in envelope mode instead of using an actual envelope. Now whenever we hit a key, it'll play from beginning to end and then stop. Alright, so that's our amplitude envelope. Let's grab another envelope and we're going to chuck it on the coarse pitch. Alright, and we'll put it on trigger. Actually, we'll put it on envelope. Alright, so we're starting to get somewhere. Alright, so if I want my kick to be tuned, I don't want to go into this negative space. So in the matrix, I can use the type to make it so that this envelope only goes up and then comes back down to the same pitch of the key that I'm pushing. Alright, so it's still probably going a bit high, and so we can draw in an actual kick pitch envelope in here, just like you can do in kick, which I quite like this as a technique, because you get a lot of control. Like, if I wanted to, I could remove all of that and just use the shaping. And, you know, you can get close, but if you draw in individual points and then just adjust the curves to taste, yeah, you can draw a pretty interesting kick shape in there. Okay, so if we want a noise, let's, now I've got these other attacks, which I found somewhere on the internet, but you can make a pretty compelling noise oscillator. Let's put a volume envelope on it, and we'll put it into envelope mode. And we just want a nice short little tick. And yeah, you can adjust the scaling of that. You can make it go for longer. And of course, then you can flick through and pick all sorts of noises. That's nice and stereo. Yeah, and so we've essentially got a little bit of a kick thing happening here already. What I normally do when I'm making kicks is I bounce out copies of ones that I like. So let's get into that. You get more control if you can look at the waveform and then add your own external effects. All right, let's put in a note. And then we'll set up some resampling. All right, there's one. Make some variations. All right, so I've resampled a couple. Let's have a listen. And they're kind of okay. Because they've all come from the same source, they can probably be processed pretty similarly. I like to compress them gently with a slow attack, so the initial part of the kick comes through and then gets clipped hard, and then the rest of the subby part of the kick isn't clipped so much. So So it just gives it a bit more impact because that initial transient just gets let through, and we're not distorting the sine wave at the end. So that's distorting too much. If we back it off a little more, we've still got a nice clean kick there, but we've got a nice loud transient at the start, which is squared off. Let's see if they all sound okay. Yeah, they're all right. That's pretty much all the processing that I would do at this stage, because I don't like to overdo it. So we can freeze all of those, flatten that. We've got some nice loud kicks. Yeah, and you can see that they've got nice sharp high frequency transients, and then they've got nice slow decays, and then they just hold a nice I said nice 5 times. Yeah, and then they've got a long tail, which is just holding a note. So if you wanted to tune them for your track, you could do that. So using Serum for this is really great because you get a whole bunch of control. You can control the actual shape of your, you can control the shape of your amplitude envelope. So if you wanted to just make short transient heavy kicks, you can do that. So if you want them to ring out, so you can resample them and use them for other things, there you go. And you've got total control over the pitch envelope, so you can make really weird sounds or really tight kicks easily. And of course you can layer different noise and use another oscillator to kind of beef things up a little bit. So yeah, I really like doing this. I've been mucking around with it a lot. Yeah, so I've been using this a bit lately to just make new kick drums. I've been really enjoying the cleanliness and the control that you get over the whole thing. And yeah, it's a tool that I already have, so why not use it? I still like kick too, and I still use it from time to time, but Serum's been really kicking goals for me. Hope it works for you too. So it's a quick example of using Serum to make kick drums. It's all pretty straightforward. You only need one oscillator. You can use the noise oscillator to bring in extra transient noise, and yeah, you can use oscillator B to kind of beef things up in that initial part of the kick. I wouldn't try overlaying multiple oscillators at the decay portion of the kick, but you can get some interesting sounds out of it. We didn't really touch on effects. I mean, the only effects that I would really use in there are really light distortion, maybe a bit of filtering with a bit of drive, stuff like that. But it all kind of, you know, it's all pretty obvious stuff. Yeah, and then post-processing, just bringing up the transient by distorting it a little and making sure that the final tone is just nice and clean. Have a good one.